Okay, now we want to wire the legs and put the wires through the legs so that they can be anchored to the body. And the first one leg I'm going to wire from the foot up to all the way up to the knee joint. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to take the wire, make sure it's sharpened on one end so that it's to a nice point, and then we're going to insert the wire into the foot pad right here. And the foot pad is a little bit fleshy, and we're going to stay away from that toe that's coming out up here. The wire is going to go under the scales of the bird's leg right here. And so we put it on here, and it's really important that you twist it or drill it in. You don't just try to shove it in there. So you need to go back and forth. Once I get it to enter, I can actually see it move up and down. And then now it's all the way up to this ankle joint. When you get to the ankle joint, it's important that you take these two bones and you straighten them out. Hold the ankle joint between your fingers and then carefully rotate it until it goes through the ankle joint on the underneath side. And you can invert this bone to make sure that the wire has come out on the underneath side underneath there. And so now we have this wired, but we need to attach the wire to the leg bone. And to do that, we just use a little bit of string. And then all that muscle that was on the drumstick, the gastrocnemius muscle, needs to be replaced. It doesn't need to be as big as it was before. But we take our string and we secure the wire to the leg bone. It's important to get that top part of the leg bone secured close to the wire. And then we take a little bit of cotton and we've replaced this calf muscle. So if you've ever eaten a drumstick, the drummy muscle is what we're replacing. We don't need it to be huge in any way, shape, or form, and we don't want it to be big near the bottom, because near the bottom there really wasn't any muscle. It was all up near the top. So we replace that muscle so that it just looks like this. And this is the muscle replacement. The bone is visible at the bottom. There's no cotton at the bottom. There really wasn't any muscle there in the first place. We cut off our strings. We don't actually tie them. We just cut them and leave them. And then we return this carefully without being twisted. Return it to its original position. It's possible to wire the legs from the inside out. And I'll show you that on this other leg. If you're going to try that, we'll invert the leg right here, and then from the inside out, what we do is we would run this wire right next to this bone right here, and then we need to make sure these bones are straight, and we again rotate it. We're getting it through the ankle joint. And then we want to invert this to make sure that we're not pushing through the scales on the leg at all. And so I can see the wire, I can feel the wire with my fingers, see the wire. We want to be careful you don't jam this through and have it come out through into your fingers. That would be painful. We don't want any injuries. It comes all the way out the pad on the bottom. And then what we do is invert this and do the same thing we did before. We want to attach that bone with a little bit of string. So we take this bone and with a little bit of string we secure that bone to the wire. And once that bone is secured to the wire, then we just grab a little bit of cotton. Again, add a little bit of cotton as muscle replacement, just to fill up that hide on the leg socket. And we don't need very much on such a small bird, and we don't need any to go all the way down near the ankle joint, just because there wasn't muscle down there in the first place. Very little, if any at all, just tendons. Then we take our scissor, we go ahead and cut off the string, don't tie it, and just carefully, making sure it's not twisted, slide that back into its original position.